Hey everybody, welcome to the Rise or Die podcast with yours truly, Stephen M. Lowisz. This is episode 52, A Week of Intent. I've had a significant problem in my life just kind of trying to coast through life, right? The biggest accomplishments that I ever had in school were how long I could sleep in class. Just to put it into perspective, I don't know if it was freshman or sophomore year, but I went to a public school that had block scheduling. So you actually only had 4 classes a day, but you had A and B day, and classes were, I think it was an hour and 24 minutes. My record for sleeping through class was an hour and 27 minutes. My Spanish teacher at the time decided to just let me sleep right through the bell and, make me late for the next class. Well deserved. But it is a prime example of how I've operated. I was the guy that would use Google for every assignment, and I kind of hacked the system. I realized that if I did all of my homework via Google, I would pay freelancers to do my homework, more papers and whatnot. I got through even college Java programming by paying someone in India to actually code my Java homework. But I would coast through life, and the hack that I figured out was that if I Googled all of the homework and got like a C or a D on the test, I would average out to usually about a B. So I was a B student. I graduated with like a 3.4. But the attitude of just doing the bare minimum to keep my parents off my back and doing the bare minimum in general, it went throughout my entire life. I mean, why am I not morbidly obese? But I'm not the fittest. I talked about that yesterday. Well, it's because I'll do the bare minimum to stay somewhat healthy. Why is it that I do a podcast 6 out of 7 days of the week, but I usually miss a day or two? It's because I'll do the bare minimum to say I'm consistent. I'm getting 5 days a week, but I'm going to do the bare minimum to get by. I mean, that's a really dumb example, but it is an example. My entire life, I've been just doing the bare minimum to get by. The only area that I haven't is when it comes to money. It's when it comes to money. That's the only area that I've truly had real drive in. And a lot of it's been misguided drive, and I figured a lot of it out, but that's the case of my life. So I'm going to take this even further, though. When I was 18, 19, 20 years old, I was making a lot of money. Then I would kind of rest on my laurels, and I would, when I was doing sales, strictly sales, not running a business, I would start to do the bare minimum, meaning I would make the calls, but my heart wasn't really in it. I was doing it more for the effort and to check the box once again in my life, as opposed to actually increase my sales. So my income actually started to go down. It went down up until I actually jumped ship and started my own company, 21 LEAP and Invictous. So what I realized is that, let me take this even further. I'm going to expound on this just a little bit more for you. As we go into Monday, as we go into the rest of the day, the rest of the week, you have a group of people that absolutely hate and dread Mondays. I mean, I don't relate, but I kind of get it, right? Like people who hate their jobs, people who are making menial wages in jobs that they hate, people that aren't doing what they want to do with their life. Yeah, I get it. Again, I can't relate, but I get it. Then you have the oddballs like me, where I actually used to love Mondays. I used to love Mondays. I don't, because now it seems like Mondays, are the days that clients want everything done. They think that I was working for, 52 hours over the weekend when there's only 48. Being a little facetious here. But I used to love Mondays because I was so ready to take on the world, and then come Thursday, I was basically a walking zombie. Like completely, like the difference between A and Z between Monday and about Thursday. And it's because I would go in with this mindset of Motivation Monday, I'm going to conquer the world this week. I'm going to do X, Y, or Z, yada, yada, yada. But it was very misguided. So you have one side of the spectrum, which is, I hate Mondays. Then you have the other side, which is, I love Mondays, but I hate life by the end of the week. So the balance that I started to figure out was that I don't need to be super pumped. I don't need to be focused on how I'm going to get, the billable time in for my clients. I don't need to focus on checking the box. What I need to do is just go into a week saying, these are the things that I'm going to complete for myself and my clients. The end. I'm done. You need a game plan every single week. You need really a game plan every day, but you need a game plan every week of what you plan on accomplishing. This completely transformed my life when I started taking time every single Sunday to come up with a game plan of what I'm going to do that week. And I'm not talking about just in business. I'm talking about across body, being, balance, and business. So as I started to do this, I started to get off my Monday motivation high. But I also don't hate life like all of these guys that, are dreading their worthless jobs and their menial salaries. But what got me out of making what actually helped increase my income was planning out the week ahead. What actually got my marriage better was planning out my week ahead. What actually got me the time I needed to invest in a relationship with God, planning out that time, that got me further. I'm not asking you to love Monday, and I'm not saying you should hate Monday. All I'm saying is you need intentions as you go through this week. What are the things that you are going to accomplish? And if you do, then the week was a win. If you don't, the week was a loss. Are you 1-0 or 0-1? What plans, what strategic moves are you going to make this week to improve your life or your kids' lives or your wife's life? I need more coffee. For me, I have things planned out across body, being, balance, and business. I have my workouts planned out. I have the day that I'm going to take my wife on a date. That'd be Friday. That's easy. Okay. I have time allotted with my dad and my mom in different relationships in my life. I have time allotted to do very strategic business moves that, when I was stuck in the mode of just trying to get things done and check boxes, I would work a ton, but it was busy work. It wasn't strategic in any way. So then I'd sit there wondering why I wasn't making any headway towards my targets. Okay, to a certain extent, you're always going to have shit burning down that you have to deal with. I get it. We all do. But you need to make time for the strategic moves that you don't typically give yourself time for. That's when you start making big shit happen. So across body, being, balance, and business, where are you lacking intent as we go through the rest of the week? Take some time this morning. This Monday, beautiful morning. I actually don't know if it's beautiful. It's cloudy and dark out when I'm recording this. But let's assume it's going to be a beautiful Monday. What's your intent this week across body? What's your intent across being and balance and business? What do you plan on doing? If you lack a plan, no wonder you're not going anywhere. That's what I'll leave you with today as I wrap up episode 52. As always, share this podcast with someone that you want more for out of their life, someone that needs a little kick in the ass every day, just like you get from me. In addition, subscribe to some of our exclusive content at riseordiepodcast.com. I'll talk to you tomorrow for episode 53.